So you want to start a line.
I want to start a line. Where do I begin?
Well, it starts from within. It really starts from within because we can't tell you what you want to do with your life. You're going to have to decide on that on your own. But what we can do is guide you towards that. We're kind of like a life coach, but less like weird and like annoying because we're actually working on like a specific project. So, but I would imagine a life coach is probably like, what are your goals? Like, what do you want to do with your life? So it's kind of similar in that way where we're like, what do you want in the end? Like, what's the end result? Is it a bunch of like sleepwear, cuddly stuff? Is it something for kids? Like, who is your audience? Like, what do you want to make this for?
Yeah. I think to piggyback off of that, some important things you need to consider when starting a line is who's your target customer? Who are your competitors? Because you're going to have them when you are starting out. Where are you getting your price points from as far as how you want to sell it? Like, if your competitor is Nike and you want to sell it for a lot less, but you want it to be the same product essentially, it's why? Like, where do you see that being sold and being successful? So just like understanding who your target market is, the price points, competitors, where you're going to be selling, how you're going to be marketing, so that way when you do launch, you're successful.
Yeah, and Nikki says this a lot, which I think is really a good point. You can look to other brands, like you can look to Nike and you can look to Luluelemon somewhat, but you really shouldn't be thinking of them as your direct competition. Do the homework to look at who is selling a brand on a much smaller scale that I'm comparable to, because there are plenty. There's so many brands out there, and it's kind of lazy to just say Nike, honestly. It's lazy.
Yeah.
There's so many other brands, and Nike and Lululemon, they're big enough to the point where their actual customer is bigger. It's broader. It's a lot of different people. When you're starting, you have to pick a customer, and it's not a range from 20 to 95 or whatever. It's a specific human being with very specific traits, habits, amount of money they spend on things. So to figure that out, one of the things that you need to look at are the other people in your space. So if it's kids clothing, stop looking at the big stuff in the companies that are producing like hundreds of thousands of units at Target. Go to some of the specialty stores and really look at those labels and try to figure out who are these other small businesses that are doing this, and that'll give you a sense of like what's going on in the industry.
Yeah, finding your niche is important too. Understanding what makes your product different is essentially going to be how you sell it.
Yeah, it's the main thing. I mean, like if you can boil it down to something that matters, it's like you have to come out with something that is solving a problem for someone. And you can start with yourself. Like, that's not to say that you can't solve a problem that you have, but like you have to very quickly take that and then go out and see, well, who else has this issue? I had a conversation today with a lady who developed a really cool kids product, right? I can't say much more than that. But what she was doing was going out and getting amazing feedback from different moms about this product. And I was like, okay, great. How much are they willing to pay for it? And there wasn't any, like hadn't asked that question, right? She didn't ask that question. That's not even that good. Really what you want to do is actually get people to take out the wallet and give you money for some prototypes. You know, if you're actually doing the work to sew them up, like try to actually get a sale or two, because that's going to be true data. But if you can't do that, the next best thing is to be like, okay, so you really like this, right? You really think this would be valuable? How much would you pay for this, realistically? And let them just be honest with you. And that's how you start to gather some data and get a sense of like, what should I be pricing this product at? And then you can go back into development and build it for mass scale. In the beginning, you're just testing, feeling things out. Like, what would you pay for this? You know, ask those questions and then ask more questions. Would you buy more? Would you buy 2? Would you buy 3? Why not? What do you like about this? So dig deeper into the things that other people like or don't like about the product.